Hello everyone and welcome to Tabletop Tea Time. This is the monthly show where I invite some creators on. Some will talk about the topic. This month it's all about rethemes. Others, I'll even do a creator spotlight where I'll interview another creator so you get to learn, and I get to learn, a little bit more about them. Well, let's jump in with this month's theme, and well, rethemes. It's fairly common thing, I'd say, in board games. Maybe more so than other mediums because, well, often they seem to take one game and slap an IP on it. There's been a couple of those that I want to mention. The first one is Lord of the Rings, the new Seven Wonders dual retheme. Well, I think that one's been done really well. Firstly, it's not actually just a retheme. That's quite important. I do find when they just slap a new IP, you know, oh, what's the current hotness in terms of films or whatever, when they just put a theme on, I do feel it feels a bit weak. With Seven Wonders Jules retheme into Lord of the Rings, they did tweak it. There's no points, for instance, and it would feel a bit weird to win the Lord of the Rings style game on points when it's all about maybe getting the ring to Mount Doom or having control of different parts of of Middle-earth. So I like that they tweaked things and didn't just make a retheme. Another one that you could just about see there is Pokemon Splendor. Pokemon is actually quite a serial rethemer. There's Pokemon Splendor, there's Pokemon Bag of Chips, there's Pokemon Point Salad. The list probably does go on because, well, it's a crazily popular IP that sells well. And, well, I can't say too much. I literally imported that version. Why? Well, I am a bit of a sucker for the nostalgia that is Pokemon. I have to say I absolutely love it. And the theme in the original Splendor, well, I'll take it. I think that theme with Pokemon is just more likely to catch people's eye, and it's a bit more fun when you're actually playing. Yeah, there is a slight tweak again, so it's not just a retheme, but it kind of is in that case. But I'm on board for that. I prefer to have a nice theme. It doesn't always work though. Century Spice Road, I'm probably in the minority, but I prefer that over the Gollum edition. I like the gemstones, don't get me wrong, but I love the original artwork, and, well, you're trading up spices. It's going to look a bit sort of bland-ish. I didn't vibe as much with the artwork that was of the golems. A retheme that I think I'm in the minority of. All this to say, I think it's really important when they do choose to retheme a game to make sure they're not just changing the artwork, and they do make sure that the rest of the game fits the theme as well. Seven Wonders removing that points victory and having different ways to win, I think that works fantastically. There's kind of an evolution-y thing going on there in the Pokemon Splendor, but it's also kind of very much the same game. When it's the same game, it has to really grab you, that IP, or the original one just had to really suck. But there you have it. Let me know if I'm massively wrong, especially about Spice Road being better than Gollum Edition, in the comment section below. And now let's pass over to Evan, who's going to talk to you about a game that, for once, I have heard of this one. I'll give you, I hadn't heard of the other versions of it. But yeah, let's pass over to Evan.
Hey everybody, I'm Evan. And today, I'll show you some versions of a game that you have probably never heard of. So, today we're going to talk about vegetable stock. This here is my original printing of the Taiwanese version from 2022, I believe. But did you know that in Taiwan there are a couple of other versions of this game? Yeah, so let's go down to the table and I'll show you what they're all about. So this is, of course, what a basic game of vegetable stock would look like set up, with your market that changes based on the cards, where you deal out the number of cards for the number of players plus one, and then whichever card is left after the players draft them is how the market adjusts. So that would go, 2 carrots are left, and then 1 corn is left, so those go up. And then whenever they hit the top, they crash down to the bottom. So pretty simple, right? So, but we're not looking at this today. Let's look at some other version. So every year in Taiwan, they have a convention called the TOBY, or the Taiwan Original Board Game Expo. And they've released 2 different versions of vegetable stock, one in 2022 and one in 2023, that are affectionately known as Board Game Collector. The game plays exactly the same as vegetable stock, but with a couple of little tweaks. Let me show you. So the market cards look like this. And same as before, there's party games, family games, strategy games, kids games, and puzzle, thematic / others. Okay? Same thing, you deal out the number of cards based on the number of players, plus 1. Whatever's left, the market adjusts. However, if you notice, these are going down instead of up. So thematically, I guess, it's the board games that you are collecting on these cards are slowly going out of print. And then once they finally they crash to the bottom, well, you flip these cards, and then they get even higher. So it's 7, and then they go back all the way down, possibly to 0. So instead of like crashing to 0, like crashing as high as it can go and then back to 0, it actually gets even better. So it's an interesting little tweak on the game that the market just acts a little bit differently. So basically these are the same, except they have some different games in them. But I have one more. This here is a Hello Kitty version of vegetable stock called Hello Tea Time. This one is slightly different. The gameplay is exactly the same, however, there's a board here. If you notice, the cards are basically the same layout of the cards, where they have different symbols on the sides there. There is cards that replicate the tornado and the sun that are in the normal vegetable stock. However, let's see here. Oh my goodness. There's all these tokens, okay? There are point tokens. There are secret character tokens. There's even a little active player standee. So, this market is a little bit different. There's multiple rounds in this version. So the market would be set up like this, and then these tokens are used instead of cards to show the value. Then also each player is dealt one of these little secret tokens to show which character you actually have 1 extra of at the end of the game. Because instead of having a market where you are multiplying your number of the symbols based on the market value, all you're doing is looking for majority in this one. So you deal out the number of cards for the number of players, same as before, and then whichever one's left, the market adjusts. So, you know, that one would go up 2, this one would go up 1, and then the same thing is if one goes off, it crashes. So then you do that twice with 6 cards each time, and then you use these little point tokens to keep track of your points between rounds. And I believe you also get a different one of these secret ones each time, which basically just gives you 1 extra. So whoever has the most of this character is going to get 3 points. And then whoever has the most of this character is going to get 6, and then if there's a tie, there's 3. But then for the second round, these flip, so the values change a little bit. It's just kind of an interesting little tweak on the game. It kind of simplifies it a little bit, but then also complicates it a little bit, so it's kind of interesting. Yeah, that is Hello Tea Time, which is a vegetable stock game, I suppose. So, all right, well, let's go back up to the table, and I'll tell you what I think of vegetable stock.
And there you have it. Those are my other versions in my collection of vegetable stock, a game which I highly recommend. If you're not watching my top 100 games of all time, well, it appeared in there somewhere. Go check it out.
So the question is, where can I get it? I don't know if this version's available anymore. These two were limited. They had extra copies on the Taiwan board game design website. I don't know if they're there anymore. And this version here is not available for sale outside of Taiwan. So you're not going to find this one. But either way, the Arcane Wonders version that was printed recently is basically the same game as the original. So I would say go ahead and pick that up. I highly recommend it. Well, that does it for my tea time. I had a great time. How about you? See you on the next one, everybody. Bye.
Definitely check out Evan's Top 100, and while we're talking about other people to check out, let's go over to our Creator Spotlight segment, where I'm going to be interviewing Ian and Stacey. Let's go for some rapid fire questions, and let's start with the basics. Please introduce yourselves and let us know a little bit about your channel.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacey.
And we are Where There's a Wills.
There's a play.
And we're here today with a Creator Spotlight. So let's get on to the questions that they have asked us. The first question is, who are you and what's your channel about? Well, we just introduced ourselves. We are a married couple who likes to play board games. I describe myself as a mid-complexity casual gamer. I also solo game quite a bit. When you look at the complexity rating on BGG, no matter how flawed the system is, I kind of gravitate at about 3.0 and below. Although this year I am hoping to maybe push that a little bit, but that's about where my comfort zone is for my gaming. My solo gaming is about a 2.5 and above. So that's kind of where I gravitate and who I am.
And I'm Stacey, and I'm the other part of the married couple. And I am a non-gamer gamer, which to me means that I enjoy playing games, but I can only take so much before I have to call it quits. And I don't do any solo games. I only like games that are easy to play, easy to understand, and wrap up in less than an hour usually. After an hour, count me out. I'm no good. And my oh look, there's butterflies kicks in. So that is how I describe non-gamer gamer.
So with our channel, we like to kind of bring you a little bit of everything. I do some solo stuff, and so I try to do some different things with my solo gaming. We do some lists that we give you some recommendations from both of our kind of points of view, and we just do a lot of different things on here. We do some playthroughs. Like I said, we like to give you different points of view because me being a mid complexity and below, Stacey being a non-gamer gamer, it's nice to kind of see, you know what? Maybe there's some things out there that your non-gamer friends and family would enjoy that you would also enjoy. So I think that's pretty much what our channel is mostly about.
And we're trying to bring people together. Trying to bring the heavy gamers with the non-gamers and try and find something in the medium for all of them to enjoy, hopefully to get everybody some family time around the table.
Yep, at least the mid gamers. I don't know about the heavy. The heavy gamers are even above me. Like there's games up there I wouldn't touch. So but I like stuff that is just a little bit more more accessible as well. That mid complexity, like I said, just because I even don't want to sit down. I don't have no desire to sit down and play a game for like 4 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. I don't need all that. I want stuff that I just can kind of get away from the real world for a little while. So yeah.
Between the two of you, you cover a lot of bases there, so this should be a really interesting question to ask. What is your favourite game and favourite mechanism?
So my favorite mechanism that I've just kind of found over the past couple months, I would say, is push your luck games. I am a sucker for a good push your luck game, and because it doesn't cost me any money, I don't actually have to bet any real money or anything like that. I will press my luck as far as it'll go until I'm broke.
Yeah, push your luck games are kind of in the last year about is when we really started discovering those, and those are a lot of fun. They really are a lot of fun if it is like the main mechanism for your game. My favorite. I'm gonna bring this computer down just a little. This camera. Oh, I guess I can't bring the camera down. We look really small in the picture here. My favorite mechanism, and it has been for some time, although Push Your Luck is starting to push its luck right up here to near the top. But mine for some time has been a worker placement / resource management type game. I think that is probably where I really like. I like figuring out where to put my workers and then what resources it takes. So worker placement, I think, is probably my favorite mechanism overall. My current favorite game is one that I play only solo, but I just love everything about it and all the like spaces you can go. And it is a worker placement game from Stonemaier Games, and that is Apiary. And I just really enjoy this game. This game is it just works for my brain. I really like being able to try and figure out where I need to go to stop the AI from going and from stop them from getting the points that they need and maximizing my score. And I just like the little areas that have like different little mini games almost like, okay, here I'm going to do this, here I'm going to do this, and figure out which ones to do in the right spot. So Apiary, I think, is currently my number one game.
And my number one game at the moment, it changes constantly. Just depends on my mood. But for today, my favorite game is Creature Comforts by KTBG Games. We just got out of winter. We're entering into spring, and it just really is a comfort game. You're trying to earn resources while you're placing your workers onto the board. You're rolling dice. And it's just one of those games that just makes you feel good, makes you feel warm and cozy with the little critters that they have on the boards. And it's just a sharing the dice makes me feel like I'm helping the other person, as I'm not a mean player by any means. So giving them a couple rolls of my dice makes me feel like I'm doing something special.
I would say that is probably my number one game that we play together as well. I love Creature Comforts as well. The dice mechanism of it is so different from anything else, where you have your family dice, you roll those, then you place your workers, but then there's 4 other village dice, and so your workers may not actually do anything. So it is just such a really cool mechanism that I haven't seen in any other games that we have, even since we got Creature Comforts. But yeah, I would say that is probably my number one, would be my number one that we play together. Absolutely love that game.
If you are a member of the Don't Be Bored Discord channel, link in the description box downstairs, you might have actually known that Push Your Luck might be mentioned there, as Ian recently posted up a small little haul of some Push Your Luck games that they're going to be playing through. And, well, there's certainly a couple of bangers that they included in that photo. And it also sounds like, I'm a huge worker placement fan, it sounds like I should really be checking out Apiary. I kind of skipped it because the last couple of Stonemaier games have just been good, and there's often so much hype around them that I just sort of stayed away this time. But maybe I have to go and visit that one. Anyway, back to the rapid fire questions. Absolutely firing them at you here. What game has the best box art?
My favorite box art, and I don't even know why it's my favorite box art, it's just simple, but yet it explains the game, and that's Dive. And so I have it right here. So Dive, it's literally about diving and finding creatures in the ocean. And how can you explain it without having somebody diving into the ocean with the sun shining and getting darker as you're going down into the ocean? I just think this is absolutely beautiful. Game is fun as well.
It's gorgeous.
Yes,
it's gorgeous. This is what the board looks like too, because you have your lighter zone, as you get deeper, it gets darker and darker. So yeah, that is a gorgeous art, and I love that logo. Because it's got like that shell and the fish, and like the logo and stuff is also part of what makes a good box cover. So
yep.
I like that one. That one's probably, if we were to ever do our favorite box covers of games we own, that one would probably be in my top 10 as well. My number one is kind of a classic type game now. I just love this box art. And this is the collector's edition. This is Everdale collector's edition. I love the logo. I think is perfect for this. It doesn't it's not too big. I like this font of it. I like how you've got this whole background area that's kind of faded back, but then you got these couple creatures that are just right up front. I like that it's not super bright either. I love that the colors, whether it's the um, darker colors up front or the more muted ones in the back, are all kind of muted tones. And I just really, this is really gorgeous. It's absolutely like it's stunning. It makes me think of fall and stuff, and it's just a stunning box cover. So that is Everdell Collector's Edition.
Those are two strong picks, and I'm not sure I could pick which one of them, maybe leaning towards the vibrant blue of Dive. But for those watching, let us know in the comment section below which of those two actually is the better box art. And let's go straight through to the next question. What game did you play last?
The last game I played was actually, as at the time of filming this, was Lock Up, a role player tale by Thunderworks Games, and I live streamed it on the channel. So that will tell you when we're filming this. Because, yeah, so that is the last game that I played.
The last game that I played is a reviewer's copy of Speed Cicletta, which is going to be coming out on Kickstarter in next month sometime.
This month. No, this month. No, you're thinking of a different one. This
Oh.
month. In fact, when this video goes up, I believe it will actually be on Kickstarter at the time, because I think this is going to come up mid-month or end of month, and this comes up. This hits Kickstarter, I believe, mid-April. So
This last game that I played, and we also did a review on that one. I enjoyed that game. That was
it
fun.
was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Yep.
Those are two games I have not played, and I absolutely love it hearing about new stuff, or at least new to me stuff. That's always why I like doing this, because you get to hear about so many different games. And, well, talking about other different things, let's get to know you a little bit more. What sort of hobbies do you have outside of board gaming?
My other hobbies, I work a full-time job. That's not really a good hobby. But when I do have time on my hands, I have a little business called Square Sky Crafts. I just do some crafting on the side. I do some artwork. I make some tiles that I sell at local craft fairs, things like that. So that fills up a lot of my time. And then when I'm not doing, well, before that hobby, of course, my best hobby is cuddling with my dog. He's an American Eskimo, and he loves to cuddle and give kisses.
What medium are you using for your?
I'm using alcohol ink on these. So there's the Northern Lights, kind of working on this one, still a work in progress. I'm just using alcohol inks. Different colors, different mediums, different ways of getting the ink to do what it needs to be doing. Not making me a millionaire by any means, but I enjoy doing it and people like to see it. So,
As for me, I don't really have any other active hobbies. Board gaming is pretty much it, but I do read once in a while when there's a book out that I like, and the recent Hunger Games prequel came out. I've read all those, so reading a little bit in my downtime. Before we got big into board gaming, we kind of got big into Lego, and so I've got a bunch of Lego that's just kind of now sitting around since we got into board gaming. So I think I'm actually gonna try and get back into that, but I'm gonna do it and kind of combine my two hobbies there with Lego and board gaming. And I think I want to do just kind of my own builds and try and build some stuff that's related to some of my favorite games. So I'm just gonna try and make my own builds that look like they're things for different games, and just display them in our den. So I think that's gonna be what I kind of hopefully I get back into here. In the summer, I will be very busy. I guess my big summer hobby, which kind of relates to work, is I do custom superheroes for all of my homeroom students. I'm an elementary school teacher, and so I have body forms that I design costumes on. I color them all with color pencils. I scan them in. I put their heads in. I do this whole format for them. So that's going to be coming up here pretty soon, where that is going to be it's like a 3-month hobby. It's like maybe even 2 months. I do them all over the summer so that they're ready at the beginning of the school year. But over the summer, other than board gaming, I am doing that a lot. So I guess that's kind of my other hobby. And like I said, I'm hoping to get back into building some Lego sets. more along the lines of doing some custom things though.
And he also enjoys helping me on my craft fair days as well.
Yes, I do go with her just to keep her company and stuff. So
100% you should be building Lego, and your idea is there to craft something that's board game related out of Lego. Love that idea. Please do share that when you do that. And it was great to get to know you both a little bit more, sort of hearing about what you do outside of board games. Now, what can people expect to find on your channel in the next few weeks?
well, it's taken us a little while, but I think we kind of now have a good weekly routine down. On Mondays, we usually have some sort of review or preview of a game. Whether it's we've been actually doing quite a few crowdfunding games this year. Surprisingly, with how small our channel is, we've actually done. God, we're probably closing in on a dozen now. Different crowdfunding games before they come to crowdfunding. So we'll probably have one of those up on a Monday. When we don't, we're gonna start doing maybe some quick reviews of some games. On Wednesdays, we always have some sort of playthrough, whether it's a live stream every other Wednesday, and then the Wednesdays when we don't have live streams, we will have a playthrough up that is ready to post. On Fridays, we do a 5 and dime. Stacy gives 5 recommendations. I give 10 recommendations of games. We are currently working through our yearly ones. We will have, probably by the time this posts, we will have done our earliest ones where we kind of combined a bunch of years because we've only been in the hobby for about, like I said, about 7 or 8 years. So the first couple videos in that were combined years, and then we're starting with 2019. I think it will be single years. We aren't ranking them in our favorite to least favorite. It is just I give 10 recommendations. Stacy gives 5. I try and do my 10 in 2 different categories of 5 if I possibly can. And then on Sundays, I've started back up doing a lot of solo gaming. I kind of was in a little bit of a solo gaming funk to start the new year, and then for quite a while actually. And so I started doing some more solo stuff. So on Sundays, it's always solo things. It might be a live stream. I've been doing some live stream playthroughs. I've been working through my Thunderworks collection right now, and then I will do a rank the collection for that at some point. I'm also currently using PubMeeple to work on my top 50 solo games of all time. So when this posts, there is a good chance that the first of those videos will be up or will be coming up soon. So that is what's coming up on our channel. And then at the beginning of every month, we always do our showcase wall. In our den, we have a different theme wall every month, and we showcase those games. Might have some unboxings randomly, but normally our Sunday through Friday schedule is I solo game stuff on Sundays. We have reviews and stuff on Mondays. We have some sort of playthrough on Wednesdays, and we have 5 and dime recommendations on Fridays. Well, everybody, that's been who we are and what our channel is all about. Come check us out over at Will's Plays Games on YouTube and Instagram as well. Yeah, and hope to see you there. Once again, this has been Where There's Wills.
There's a play.
I'm Ian.
I'm Stacy.
And we'll see you next time.
Table.
I will see you next time.
At the table.
Amazing. Thanks to both of you, and thanks to everyone that joined me on today's show. That wraps us all up. Links will be in the description box downstairs, so you can go and check out the people that joined me. Check out their channel. Subscribe here and subscribe to them as well. And, well, until next time, have a fantastic month gaming.